Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key 76 entitled Extraterrestrial. So this is the second video for which I invite you eventually to check the first one before, but there is not necessarily any order. Today we're gonna go a little bit further and especially in the notion of gates, portals, let's say organic portals, vortex, black hole, wormhole, and so on. Okay, star seeds, and I will talk also about my friend Caroline Cori, who is a great, let's say, scenarist. Okay, so she filmmaker, and she did a very good documentary for which she received a reward. Okay, in Los Angeles. Okay, so it's a very interesting documentary because she demonstrates the existence of the extraterrestrial and also the wormhole. Yes. So she has been contacted by the US government, by the way. And also what is interesting is I will talk also after that about Dolores Cannon, for which I think it's extremely important that you know, if it's not the case already, the waves of volunteers. So let's try to start. Okay, so there is an energetic grid all around the planet. All right. So one of them, okay, is vertical. Okay, is what we call Schumann resonance. Okay, Schumann frequency or whatever. Okay, so concretely, what is it? It is the magnetism of Mother Earth, and the ionosphere. Okay, creating different potential, activating air frequencies, affecting the mankind, the mood, and so on, the development of us, and vice versa. We impact them. Okay, so this is vertical. Then there is a grid around the Earth. Okay, like vertically and horizontally all around the planets. And actually, this is, some lines for which the birds, migratory birds, they follow when they go, for example, from, Denmark to Senegal or Ivory Coast, and they follow this line to check during their journey in the sea. So this is interesting because actually to prove that there are like subtle connections with animals at these different frequencies is what happened in 2004 with the tsunami. Okay, maybe in Southeast, before the tsunami, a lot of animals, they just refuged into the mountain to avoid this disaster. Okay, so why is it interesting? Because it means that there is a higher communication through these frequencies. I'm going to talk about this resonance of these places and with a parallel. Okay, most of you knows already the notion of chakras, 7 colors, 7 notes of musics, and different frequencies. Okay, solar plexus is more for emotions, heart for love. Okay, communication, blue, third eye, intuition, and so on and so forth. Okay, fine, so far. So this is 7 ones. In traditional Chinese medicines, which is equivalent to Ayurveda, okay, we're talking about meridians. You remember, I studied that for 10 years. I lived in China for 10 years. So chakras are the main, let's say, motorway. Okay, and then small local roads would be the different, let's say, meridians. Okay, then within the meridians you have some very energetic points. That's why when you do acupuncture, you press some specific ones. Okay, to activate something. By the way, if you know reflexology is foot massage. Okay, you can see, type this, you will see, maybe you do here is the liver, here is the kidney, and so on and so forth. So it's affecting directly your whole entire body. So this is at human scale. At the Earth scale, concretely, it would be roughly the same. There are lines, okay, and a crossing, like grid. And there are points, kind of vortex. Okay, some vortex concretely making the equilibrium of Mother Earth in Bali. There is, for example, in some places, the most known, the different pyramids, in Gizeh, in Nazca, in Teotihuacan, in China, in Xi'an, and so on. Okay, in Japan, in Bosnia, you have different pyramids everywhere in the world. They are vortex. I mean, they are places of real activation of this very incredible energy. You have also in Shambhala, for example. Shambhala, you have two versions. One is in the Gobi desert of Gobi, okay, in Mongolia. I went there personally. The energy is so great. It's amazing. I was in the shamanic retreat for 12 days. And there it was so great. It was, and there is another one in China, in the province of Tibet. Okay, so anyway, both are very vibrating. And actually, you have also in Mecca, in Saudi Arabia, and that's why also the planes cannot go through. Okay, maybe for safety reason. But another point is Bermudas. You know, in Bermudas there is a triangle for which lots of planes disappear randomly, without any explanation. Okay, so it is this phenomenon. Okay, so there is an equilibrium, an energetic equilibrium, kind of vortex with human, okay, organic vortex and portal, and also the temples, okay, and then naturally, but you know, it's never innocent. For example, I take just the example of Europe, and especially France, Notre Dame, Chartres, and all these places, the cathedral, they have not built randomly. Okay, so there is the energy of the fact they discharge and they take back the place as a cathedral, for example. But it was an energetic place where there was already from the Druidism culture coming from them. Same here in Göbekli Tepe. They established the civilization first with the energetic center, with stone and so on. The same principle than in Stone Age and so on. This is exactly the same thing. Okay, so this is at different levels. It is to reconnect yourself, to reactivate, to recharge yourself, and to be reconnected to the Word. Okay, so this is the point, and there is a passage between both. Okay, so when I talk about, I need to explain a little bit. We will see multidimensionality in the next series of videos, but the notion of space-time and the gates, portal, and wormholes. You know one thing, a very good friend of mine is very talented. He was from the same promotion for his studies than Emmanuel Macron, the French president. I'm not saying I like him, I don't like him, he doesn't like him, or we don't care about this. It's not politics. But so it's only 200 people, 200 people in his promotion for this year. I mean, this. But anyway, so his high degree of responsibility is working for foreign minister. Okay, so he has no politics. So either President change, Sarkozy or Holland is the same. He's always maintained and so on. So he's sent for diplomacy in a certain extent. During the war in Iraq in 2007, he went with our French Mr. Kouchner, French doctor, by the way, initially, but in Ethiopia and so on. But then he became foreign ministers under Sarkozy. So he has been sent in Iraq with him only, with 3 bodyguards and so on. And he discussed with the homologue, okay, of states. And the woman asked him directly, I swear to you, it's true, it's so weird. You are also seeking the gates, the portal. Iraq is in Mesopotamia, Tigris and Euphrates. Okay, this is one of the first civilization, even if officially it's Göbekli Tepe. And I just cut here, but you can imagine that nothing is innocent. Okay, you will meditate on that. But anyway, so what is concretely a black hole? A black hole is when the density of a star is, there is no fuel, no combustible, so it's completely contracted on itself, absorbing absolutely everything, even space and time. So it means that if you go, you absorb, you disappear. You are not from this universe anymore. But, you know, it's like when you take a bath and you take it out, then the water is taking away, but the water is going through the pipes and probably arriving somewhere else, okay, on the street or whatever, you catch the point. So this is what we call literally, so the black hole is when, let's say, something attract and absorb, and from the other extremity, there is a white hole opening to a new universe. And in between, it's what we call wormhole. Okay, wormhole. Okay, so this is just the principle I can show you. Okay, if you want to, let's say, on the linearity of space-time, if you want, imagine it's in the 2D. Okay, you are here on this planet and you are here on another planet, and you want to do the journey, except that is maybe 10,000 years. If you find a gate, concretely, what does it mean? It means that you are not in the linearity of time. You are in the instantly of time. So that's why it's so interesting and important, you know, and probably, as I told you many times, and I will repeat until Einstein say, match the frequency of the reality that you want, and you cannot stop getting it. This is not philosophy, this is science. Maybe we shift every single second to, according to our state of mind, our vibration on a scenario among others. So maybe it's not a question of, it's like teleportation in quantum mechanics. This is also linked to the notion of entanglements, for which if two particles has been linked at a moment of the time, they evolve at distance instantly, not in the linearity of time. Okay, so why I want to insist on that? This is the parallel of the multiverse, for which we will talk quite a lot in the multi-dimensionality in the next series of videos. So now let's talk about Caroline Cori and a movie for which you have the reference in the features, Tears in the Sky. So concretely, you remember what I said to you in the previous video, 2004 and 2017, okay, US Navy and US Air Force, they discover exactly the same thing in California. Okay, they check and they discover with a system of radar and so on, triangulation, they just discover the appearance, I mean, some UFO, first, I mean, 1.3 meters to 20 meters, and a lot of them, like almost, let's say, a rain of it. 2004, exactly the same experience in 2017. It was random, and it has been declassified. And actually, the person Kevin Day, who was on the boat, wanted to testify, and he has been mocked. He has been kicked out of the project about army and so on. He was depressed. He was completely unenthused. And actually, so she decided to make a movie for which there is a big production. I told you she had a reward of a documentary from Los Angeles. Okay, so a festival, I mean. And so it's a budget. For example, she has materials. She's using, for example, triangulation is 3 places with a notion of FLIR's camera. FLIR's camera is, to be technique, is with a higher infrared. Okay. Okay, so different waves and so on to really check that everything is correct. So the thing is, what is funny, so there is budget only for the cameras. There is already almost 500,000. Okay, so you can imagine the full production cost. But it was like a journalist investigation work. She wanted to reproduce this experience. So she has a team of scientists, okay? And what is interesting is because she has French origins, okay? So she's American living in States, but that's it. And she had like an insight, a vision, saying we will only have 5 days, which is short, okay, to obtain this type of results and to avoid its collapsing. And she said it will be 14th of July, which is the French National Day, which is memorizing French Revolution. Not only for France, for the first people to be free, okay? The first country in the world to be free without the kingdom, okay? So probably a kind of message, like subtle synchronicity of eventually the revolution of the consciousness. And she thought it was this moment. And effectively, these things happened this day. I mean, then other the day after, but like a vision, okay? So, why I'm saying that? Because there is probably a link between your state of mind, your vibration, your welcoming, to be prepared to wait for them or an activation, than if you don't care or you criticize and you say, well, it's bullshit, it will never happen, and so on. I'm not saying this is illusion, of course, that she co-created, but maybe there is an appeal. You know that in quantum mechanics, the observer has an impact on through the observation on the results of the object in a quantum mark. Okay, so it's really interesting because we could even think higher. Okay, if maybe if you vibrate very downer astral, always in the matter and the density and so on, maybe we are not aware to see some of them, like angels, like but ET could be exactly the same actually. So she has been she find exactly what the US government found, plus a wormhole. So it's like an openness of the sky, of the universe, towards a new revolution of the consciousness. I invite you to share a maximum and to watch it if you vibrate with that. I have no interest to do advertising for her. I told you I promote her for a YouTube channel in France for her to be known from the French speakers, because I think it's for the consciousness. It's not because I want necessarily she makes profits. It's not this, and I'm not doing this promotion for that. Then she has been contacted by the US government for asking her how she did. Okay, so she explained the technique, triangulation, 3 position, and so on, location. And it's funny because she asked a confirmation. Okay, NASA recorded the same than us. We have this results. Can you check and so on? And you know what? They confirm and directly saying, okay, these documents are classified. Why? Because they didn't want to say, yes, you are right. And it was probably the first time in the world, or maybe they did, but they never share with anybody. I told you, check the first video, disclosure, why there is a period of disclosure, giving a little bit, a small bound to a dog, like this is happy, or consciousness is not ready. I have no idea. I mean, I have my point of view, but then we will not, we have no way to conclude on this. But, you know, there is so many testimonies like this. The Chilean Corporal Valdez, he declared so he was in a maneuver, military and so on, with the plane, and he disappeared for 15 minutes from the radars. And for him, he say, I explore a portal, because he had the feeling it was 5 days, you know. So it's very, very, very interesting, and also fascinating. So I wanted to tell you also regarding Dolores Cannon. I told you she's a therapist. She's doing hypnosis, and she's American. She passed away. She was quite old already when I discovered her, maybe 12, 13 years ago. And actually, she became also a kind of medium as well. She was connected She was a medium channel. Well, anyway, and she wrote a book regarding what she entitled the waves, the 3 waves of volunteers. What is it concretely? These are stars and or aliens and or whatever, okay, some souls who decided as a contract to be volunteer to come back here on Earth. So just after Nagasaki, Hiroshima, and all the misusing of a nuclear, because nuclear, if you explode a nuclear things with the entanglements, you can have an impact probably on other space-time and other, in the multiverse, other civilization and so on. So it's putting the best, okay? So, and also for enlightening the consciousness in general, okay? To help mankind. You know, so the first wave was in the 50s, and then 70s, 80s, then the third one, 2000 something, and there is a 4th, 5th, and so on, okay? And they will be endlessly until humanity find back is humanity and also is divinity and so on. So, but maybe you will find you back in the description, but most of them, they are empathic with a collective consciousness. So they are altruist, of course. They have a good sense of justice. They are fair. They are. They don't feel integrated and tuned in this society. Okay. They need loneliness. They have the feeling to be extraterrestrial. You know, like to be too much different. They don't have the same perception of the reality. They are more in the sensitivity and so on. They are very sensitive, and actually the DNA is upgraded compared to most of other humans on Earth. I'm not saying they are extraterrestrial. I'm just trying to explain the topic. And they invite through their radiation, their presence as organic portal for other people to awaken and to do so. And to manifest through the epigenetics. The epigenetics, you vibrate as a very high level, and then you modify your DNA, and your DNA impacts the whole body and your whole health and so on. Your state of mind, to be positive, to be harmonious and so on, to clean up, okay, cleansing, and also to radiate a maximum of light and love, okay? Just one thing. Just wanted to precise, be aware also to be cautious about the notion of, in the spirituality, in different ones, the notion of 144,000, angels or, elected people at the end of the time, the cycle and so on. This is very dangerous. You know why? Because first, maybe it's not numerous. Maybe it's just a threshold to reach, and then there will be more. But if you consider, oh yes, I am, and you're arrogant towards them, other people, I mean, it's a BS, is a trap. Okay, so I think it's better not to focus on that. Those who are part of it, they feel it, or they will feel it. Those, but they don't talk about that. Okay, they reveal, because I can see sometimes I'm part of them. Okay, if you want, fair enough. It's funny. But anyway, so concretely, everybody has his space. Okay, the most important is to be anchored, to be grounded in the now here, and to radiate love and so on, and not necessarily to according to the wind of the media and so on, the tumult and the turbulence. This is really important. And when I was young, very young, I always thought that there will be not the return back of Jesus, Isa, whatever the name, a Messiah. For me, it was kind of obvious when I was observing the stars. I was admiring how they were connected with constellation and so on, and I could match and then I had the feeling they were talking to us, or they were a version of us with different frequencies and maybe not with visual form. And then I thought that it was like F. It was some different people from the future. They will, by their light, they will enlighten the darkness to invite more people to do so. So like if there is a replication of the sky down to Earth, that the same thing that you have on the portals, for example, Gizeh in Egypt, there is an alignment with Sirius and so on. This is a kind of, not similarities, but resonance. Okay, so I invite you to think about that. I wanted to talk about the cropcircle. Some people don't believe, they think it's fake. There are fake ones. They are badly done, by the way. When you see it's not so harmonious, it's not so precise. But those who are apparently correct, it's absolutely extremely well done. These are very huge, important messages from sacred geometry, like flower of life, like torus, like Metatron cube, like Platon's solid, like tetrahedron, the 5 ones, and actually they communicate probably to say, okay, activate within yourself this. Personally, I practice this kind of meditation, visualization of the 3D, let's say, flower of life every day, okay, like this, fractal increasing and decreasing, and also creating within a torus, okay, so maybe it's an invitation to activate something higher than what we used before, like, kind of free energy. I invite you to think about that. I wanted to mention as well, it's John Mack, is from Harvard. He's a great professor and a psychiatrist. He had the Pulitzer Prize in 2007. So he has no interest to lie, because it's more difficult to have this, is brave to do an experience with 200 people who have been abducted, okay? And he say there are no pathology, they don't want to convince you, they think it's even strange from them, they're embarrassed and so on, but they all testimony are very, very, very similar. So, I'm gonna tell you something. It's a little bit the same. I had many times some dreams, some dreams about extraterrestrial, with a feeling from 2005 to 2015 to be like penetrated, like to have like checked, and then it was just a dream. You understand? It was not necessarily. Let's say nice, comfortable. But anyway, I do it many times. But I had two experience not so long time ago. One of them, I was on the roads, and there was a kind of not. It was a ship, okay, kind of ship. Very giant, is like a kind of city. It was a dream once again, and I said, "Wow, this is this then." And I tried to take pictures and so on, and to check a film and so on. It was impossible. They control my technology in the dream. I repeat, and also they could communicate through my consciousness directly, through telepathy. Okay, it was just a dream. And the second one, quite significant. It was there was no ships. There was only people arriving like this. There was folk like this in space, and arriving like this, landing on Earth, but like maybe Merkaba, I don't know, but just like this, And the people, the folk, arrived to them, and I'm part of them, and suddenly they say to me, we know everything about you, Mr. Milot. Okay, so René Milot. So how come? And yeah, we know we know exactly what you did. So you do a good job. Your heart is good. There is only one thing. I say, what's wrong? Your religion. And I say, what the problem? And my father immediately said to them, but actually he's super open. For him, he embraced all the religion, all the spirituality, those who is following for certain rights, it is entangling all of them. So he say there is no proselytism, there is no, and I was so happy because I say, wow, that's great. Now he catch it. It was a dream once again. And then the other guys say, okay, we will reanalyze your folder, I mean, your case. Anyway, and then I shift immediately, like in a dream. I was, on the mountain, there was like, it was collapsing, and I was trying to help people, for them to avoid to roll down, and also to maintain the house and so on, and I could do it. And I remember different things like this. So, okay, it was just a dream. It was just a dream. It was just a dream. For you to catch or not what I want to tell you, I wrote this sentence a few years ago, and is part of the book Synthesis of Saint Theses that you can download from my, it's in English, from my website. Is for free. Once again, every sentence are very deep, and you have layers of perception. We will never wake from these dreams, since it is only a dream. We will always be forever daydreaming, since this is only a dream. I like to say, to define myself like a dream maker, and I only one am dream maker. To go and to finish on this beautiful sentence that I love from my Little Prince. As he said, turn your life into a dream, and this dream into reality. All right, I hope all these elements will help you to shape your master key, of the consciousness of love, or whatever you want. As you know, all the roads lead to Rome, and to home, and to the dome. Thank you for your attention, and see you very soon.